Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Discord meeting. We have these every night at 9 p.m. If you want to be a part of it, just hit the like and the subscribe button on this YouTube channel. Also, check out the description down below. You'll see that we have a free Discord. We are growing very, very fast. If you want to be one of the OGs, I suggest you get in right now. So we're going to start off by looking at the S&P 500. We're using TraderView. Of course, if you want to use TraderView, there's a link in the description as well. You get the first 7 days free, I believe it is. I'll have to look into them more for you. But either way, let's look at the S&P 500, guys. It's pretty damn cool. We had another pullback this morning. It got a little nerve-wracking. Covey, if you'll zoom in on that just a little bit for me. On Friday, if you guys remember, we had a big pullback on Friday, and we broke below that 21-day moving average. And it had me a little skeptical. It really did, because when we break below a 21-day moving average, it makes me a little nervous. That's when I start being hands-off in the market. And right at the end of the day, we rip, tater, chip on higher volume. It was absolutely beautiful to see. And then the very next day in the pre-market, on Monday, so today, we had a nice push up in the pre-market. In the pre-market, we opened up here, and then we started selling off. We sold off pretty hard, pretty fast, and we sold all the way down, right down by that 21-day moving average, and then boom, we had another upside reversal. So that's two upside reversals in 2 days on higher volume. So the overall S&P 500 is still risk on, in my opinion. As long as we're above a 21-day moving average, we are risk on, and I think things are looking very well. Okay, guys? So keep that in mind. I just wanted to give you a quick overview, and I'd like to turn it over to Covey. He's our breakout specialist. He brings us amazing breakout watch lists. So make sure whatever he brings up, you put on a watch list. But remember, these aren't buy or sell recommendations. This is a watch list. If you don't know how to use risk management, or you don't know how to trade these, I suggest you go in the resource area of our Discord and watch the breakout trade section. There's a video dedicated for breakout trading that we have made just for you. Also, if you're interested, there's trend break strategy in there as well. So we can go over this, but before you do anything, learn how to trade these, learn how to use risk management. And Covey, take it over, brother.
All right, beauty. Well, hey guys. So I'm just gonna go over like a quick recap of what a breakout is, because there is some new people here. So sorry for the repetitiveness of, but that's kind of what trading is. That's what, when you come up with a solid strategy, there will be repeats, and it's actually a good thing when you have repeats. So let's go over. I'm just gonna go over one that's like, in my opinion, a real textbook trade. And Dave can agree with me here. It's
Ship.
just one that I'm going to
Yeah,
keep
baby.
going back to is SHIP. So SHIP, it's in the transportation shipping industry, as you can tell from this ticker. But it's the same sort of kind of move you'll see with all the names I kind of point out. You have, first off, you have this big. We're going to go with stage analysis here. So you have this. You have it stage 4 right here. It moves down. Now you have your stage 1 being formed, and then you have this leg up, and it starts at stage 2 right here. And what we're looking for when we're playing base breakouts or trend breakouts is it being in this stage 2. And the easiest way you could tell that is if it's above its 200-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average is trending upwards. It's curling up. You see how this thing's moving to the north side? That's what we want to look for. That's just the very basic stage analysis. Now, there's different indicators you can add. Thanks, Dave, for posting that in the chat. That's a prime example of what it is. But then you have an indicator I like to use is the RS rating. The RS rating. So RS rating stands for relative strength. So it's what it does is it ranks the relative strength of this stock compared to the relative market, so like the S&P 500 or the SPY. So I only like to trade stocks that have an RS rating of 90 or above. Now, if you want to know how to get this RS rating, or how you can scan for stocks with this RS rating, I do post every week in the weekly stock screener a free list. It's about 500 stocks, so it's quite a big list of all the top RS stocks in the market right now. That's on the NASDAQ and the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange, only those two exchanges. But yeah, I post that every week because I think you guys should have access to looking at the right stocks. And then what I do is I just put them into TradingView and I just go through all 500 and look for stuff that's starting to formulate to my buy strategy. So, Ship, let's get into the technical analysis of this. You have this run up, and then you have this base being formed in the stage 2. And do you see how tight it gets here? This is what we're looking for. So you have this run up. It forms these higher lows, bouncing, finding support along this 10-day, forming higher lows, and then it forms this area resistance around this 967, 970 area, and it has trouble getting across this line. You have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas of resistance. Now, this is exactly what I like to look for when playing a base breakout. Stocks that are having trouble getting across a certain area. So it got really, really tight. Like this was like this. It got super tight, and then it broke out on volume. So the key thing here is a lot of things with stocks is the volume, because that's what's going to drive the stock up. Now, you can notice a pattern here. When it's forming this really tight base, you see how it has below average volume? That's the supply and the demand. That's the supply getting sucked out of the stock and very little demand coming into the stock. So that's really good for us when it's forming a tight consolidation like this. That means it only takes a little bit of buying power or a little bit of buying demand to push this thing up further.
How can you tell that the
So,
volume's below average though?
oh yeah.
What are you
So
using?
that's a great question, Dave. So I use the Market Smith volume indicator. It's on TradingView too. Don't worry about all these indicators. If you guys feel free to reach out to me or just ping me in the general chat, and I could show you how to set it up. It'll literally take like 20 minutes. But this is the 50-day average. So it takes all these candles in and calculates the average in the last 50 days. So what I determine is below average is below this red line right here. And then when I want to see a breakout, I want to see it trading above this line. Now you're probably asking me like, how do you know that when you're actually trading the stock? Because you won't see this volume bar until after the market closes. So what I use here is I go to the 5-minute. I'm gonna have to scroll back though. Let me just see, Tuesday the 7th. Let's see if I can find it for you guys because this is a great example. Okay, right here. So I took it right on this big volume push up right here, right in the market open. You see that big volume push up on the 5-minute? That's how I tell. That gives me conviction that this stock is breaking out of this area. If I see it breaking out of this area on higher volume through the area of resistance, it's giving me conviction that, okay, this thing's going to be in for a bigger move. And that's exactly what it did throughout the day. It just ripped higher and higher and higher. So that's just kind of the overall strategy and the setup I'm looking for a base breakout. That's just the setup. The selling is completely different. We won't really go into the selling right now because that's going to take quite a bit of time. But I'll jump into what I'm holding right now, current trades. I'm only in one trade. I know the market. There was some names that Dave posted yesterday that took off that I missed, which kind of sucks. But we'll
Can't
look
catch
at
them all,
Flex.
man.
So
It's not Pokemon.
yeah,
You can't catch
exactly.
them all.
Can't catch them all. You gotta let them go. So Flex is a beautiful base breakout again. You guys could see it had this. Let's just go back. It had this run up. You ran up. Sorry, it had this stage 1. This big stage 1. Then it ran up, formed this first base, ran up again, formed another base in its stage 2. A nice long base. It kind of got choppy in here. Big shakeout on earnings, which I really like to see. A shakeout is where a ton of selling's coming in, and then it's bought right back up. That I find is extremely bullish and a nice plus to have when looking at a stock that's going through a consolidation period. So, and then it just after this, it got super tight. Like it formed a really nice consolidation here, super tight. And then look at this, same thing. You have this volume drop, boom, 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 volume drop, and then boom, on the breakout day, you had this above average volume day, and it just ripped. So, and just ripped right through this area of resistance around this 29 75 area, 2980 area, and it went on for an 8 hour move. So really nice gain here. I'm still holding about a half position on this, and I'm just waiting for it to close below the 10-day, and I'll get out of my remaining shares. So Dave actually played this with me. Dave, are you still in Flex
I
with
am
me?
still in Flex. Yep.
Okay.
I'm still holding
Yeah,
about 100 shares.
perfect, perfect. So yeah, Flex, me and Dave both played this very same day, and beautiful looking stock here.
Absolutely perfect
Um,
entry too, Adam.
yeah,
That was actually on Adam's um, his one of our base breakout meetings with Adam, just like we're doing today, guys. This
yeah,
was brought up in the same type of meeting you guys are in right now, so it's very valuable to pay attention to these. Okay, he's going to start going into his watch list very shortly. But this
yeah,
whole thing is a setup to key your eye and your brain to get it trained into finding these base breakouts and understanding
yeah.
how to take them on volume. Okay. So pay attention to this next part because it's about to get real serious.
Real serious. So now, yeah, I'm gonna walk you through my watch list. Just now, I do want to point out, based on what the market is doing right now and everything, and the volatility that's coming into it. Um, Base breakouts are there's a bigger probability that they're gonna fail or they won't work out. Market awareness when trading any sort of trading like trend break strategy or base breakout strategy is very important. So I would just be very wary if you're taking a base breakout. Um, and because I have had stocks that haven't worked out because of just the overall market conditions. And they looked exactly like this, like very nice base breakout. So market conditions is a big thing. Um, so my will load. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little slow. Do I sound okay?
You sound great, dude.
Am I lagging or am I good?
I think you sound perfect, dude. Yeah, I don't see any issues.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I don't know why my chart's not loading. Uh-oh.
Your charts aren't loading? It's all right. Take your time. I see the lag a little bit. If you got to restart, you can.
I might have to restart.
That's
Hold on.
okay. That's all right. I'll bring up my charting platform really quick so you guys can see. And we were
Dave,
Oh no, I
looking
think
at.
we're good. We're good. We're
You're
good.
good?
We're good.
All right. Go for it,
All right.
brother.
Sorry, guys. um,
Ooh, that looks
so
nice.
we have
GAU.
yeah, so we have GAU. So GAU, it's the same sort of setup. It's just you go back to the means, right? You have this stage one, then you got the stage two, and now it's starting to form its nice little base here. It's 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 creating higher lows, getting tighter, tighter. Found this area resistance around this buck 85, and now we're just waiting to see if we get that breakout on volume. And the other important thing is look at this volume drive coming in. You have 4 days of below average volume now, and this is just looking very, very pretty. And I would definitely keep your eye on something like this. Now, it is a gold name, but gold's been hot lately, so I'd watch it. GAU,
What's
put that
the
on your watch list.
ADR? What's the ADR on that?
ADR is 5.5, so it is a
Okay,
faster mover,
nice.
which is nice.
Yeah, we're looking at
Yeah,
the average daily range, guys, and percentage wise, we're looking for things that are above 4. It doesn't have to be above 4, but we want to see things that are faster moving stocks, especially if you have a trading account, let's say below 100,000. It's best to find the faster moving stocks to help increase the size of your account quicker. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And you can also add
okay.
that into your trader view as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And me and Dave can show you how to do that. It's really simple. And I actually based a lot of my trades off of ADR and my risk, calculating my risk off ADR. And Dave does the same too. So we've actually ADR has became a big part of our strategy. ATI, shout out Dan for this one. I'm still watching it. He mentioned it like way back here. I don't
Yeah.
remember, like a couple weeks ago, but it's really been just holding this base really nicely, building higher lows, finding support on that 10, 21 day, and just touching this area at I think it's its all-time high area. Yeah, all-time high area at 60, we'll call it $62. And it touched this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So it's really, really nice to see. And then if we also look at this, you're getting some volume drop coming into this too. So it'd be nice to see maybe 1 or 2 days, but yeah. But this thing, ADR 2.4, so it is a slower mover on the terms of things. Anything really under 4 or 3, me and Dave consider a slower mover when we're mentioning ADR. EU. So Mo Wealth isn't here, but Mo Wealth was one of the guys who called this out. But as you guys can see, it's the same thing over and over again. You have this stage 1 run up, big base being formed here, like a huge base, and just it's getting tighter and tighter. You have these higher lows being formed. It can't literally the stock cannot cross this $5 area. So if we see it cross this $5 area on volume, this thing could really go because in theory, now this is just theory, the bigger the base, the more the bigger the breakout's going to be, or the better chance of the breakout succeeding is. Like a good example of that is NVDA.
Yeah,
So
baby. Let's talk about
NVD
it.
yeah, so NVDA had like pretty much a year base. This was pretty much a year base right here. And then look at the move it had. So the longer the base, especially in like a leader like Nvidia, the bigger the move it's gonna produce. So I really like seeing the long bases. And EU is one of those stocks that are setting up very nice for a long base. Now it's not like no Nvidia. It's only like around a 6-month base, but it's still looking very, very pretty.
I
Um,
still think it needs a couple more days on it, but again, guys, this is for your watch list. It's getting tighter and
yeah,
tighter. It's creating that ascending trend line there, a very tight base at the top. When this thing decides to move above it, I think it's really going to move. But we just have to let that
yeah,
volume to depict our entry on there. And if we get a good amount of volume breaking through the high of that, price action will let you know when you should or shouldn't be getting in. So keep that in
yep,
mind.
exactly. Yeah, it's looking really good. This is one of my top watches. So then we have WDC. So it's a 380R. So it's like I said, a little slower mover. Good for people just getting into trading too. With those slower movers, you don't have to react as quickly. But yeah, this thing, just same thing, guys. You have this run up. You got this base being formed in this stage 2, and you got this higher lows, and it's has this area resistance around this $77 area. It just can't get across of it, and now it's getting super tight. You have some volume dry up coming in. You only have 1 day. I usually like to see 3 days of volume dry up. That gives me a lot more conviction. But if you have 1 or 2 days, I would still consider, and the chart looks good, I would still consider it. So yeah, WDC, throw that on there. It's looking really nice. Um, Oh, well, this one was on my watch list this morning, but yeah, so NVAX, Dave called this out, like shout out Dave, he showed me this one. So this was just a beautiful trend break. Now, I'm not an expert at trend breaks. I'm more of the base breakout guy. But when I saw this as setting up as a trend break, I was like, okay, this is pretty much as textbook as a trend break gets right here. Like if you're studying trend breaks and you want to follow it, this is exactly what you want to look for. I don't know, Dave, am I kind of on
Oh,
the right
absolutely. Oh,
yeah,
100%, dude. I don't think you give yourself enough credit, to be honest with you. Kobe's very, very humble when it comes to this. He's just more comfortable with the base breakouts, but he's very good at the trend breakouts as well. So don't let him fool you.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was a beautiful trend break. I missed it this morning, and I'm pretty sure Dave would have been in it if he wasn't at the doctor's. So
Yep.
kind of
Doctor's appointment
unfortunate.
got me. But you know what? I got to give a shout out to B Stewie because I went back on the chat and I review our chat from time to time. And I found right at 9:30 when it broke above that trend line, B
Yeah.
Stewie called it out. He said, "Look, I know it's a biotech, but at 9:30 he said it's breaking out." And he took this trade as well, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, BC,
So
you're in this?
he's not in it
Nice.
anymore. He's not in it anymore. I did a whole chart review with him, one on
Okay.
one, right before this opening, and we can go over that
Yeah.
some other time. But no, he took the trade. Unfortunately, he's out of it for reasons we won't disclose right now. But he did
Yep.
make a killer trade. He made some good money off of this, but he did muck it up a little bit, and that's why we had to have a one-on-one meeting so we
Yeah.
could kind of go over why he kind of mucked it up. But I got to give him a shout out because at 9:30 this morning he called it out. He
Beauty.
played it and he played it right where he needed to on volume. So very impressed with that.
Well,
And that's why his
BC.
brain's so damn big. Look at that thing down there.
Yeah, this is
questions. Ask some questions about this when you have a chance.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was just gonna say, I'll mention one thing and then ask away. So NVAX, just look at it's the same sort of thing. Using the volume, look at this thing right at 7:30, 35, just shot right up, right out of this. Cleared its previous day high, right on volume, and this volume right here was a key indicator. Like this thing's gonna go. Like look at that, just absolutely insane. And it did. It just
Yeah, that
ripped off.
volume on the
I
5
missed.
minute was beautiful.
Yeah, I missed her. I'm glad one of us caught it, B Stewie, and well, Danny ain't here,
Yeah,
but Danny
Danny.
caught it too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said in my appointment too. I said, boys, I'm at my doctor's appointment. Y'all better be making money because my watch list that I created for everybody is popping off, man. So I'm so happy to see the team got a hold of this one. Beautiful move, guys.
Yeah, good job to anyone who
look at it on the on a bigger chart there, or a smaller chart, maybe the 5 minute.
5 minute, yeah.
Let's look at it right at 9:30.
Yep.
Okay, so I got the alert. I got a whole crap load of alerts all at once this morning, right at 9:30.
Yep.
So I was trying to process through them. Index was one of my main watches, so when I did see that, I responded to it relatively quickly. But by the time I got there, it was already racing up that personal leg there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I started to jump in, but then I thought, no, I don't want to chase it. Of course, look where it went.
Sure. Now,
I wouldn't have been
what did you
chasing
mean
it.
by chase it though? What price were you looking at it when you thought chase it?
It was already what we would normally consider extended off the 10-day.
Well, yeah, NVAX is extended off the 10-day, but this was an intraday hourly trend break. So keep that in mind.
An hourly? I consider this like daily too. Well, you could also consider it hourly too.
Let me take a double take.
Well, that then it was already extended and it was racing already.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, you do have to remember it's a 14.7 ADR stock. So even if you got it at 1545, you're still not chasing the stock. At 1545, you're only 4%. You know, at $16, you're still within the buying range. Even at $16, you're still within the buying range. Now, I do agree with you that, you know, from using low of day, even though you were at 7%, you're still half the ADR. So it's still technically not a chase, but I do understand what you're saying as well because it feels like it's too extended, you know. But do keep that in mind too. If we're using the average daily range of 14.7%, even at $16, it's still a plausible trade using the low of the day. So keep that in mind next time you're looking at this as well.
Okay, so what rule of thumb would say half of the ADR is still within playable range?
I use the full percent of the ADR. Everybody's different. It is discretionary. We don't have a hard set rule. The only hard set rule that Covey and I both agree on is that we want our risk to be as or lower than your average daily range. So if your
Yep.
daily range is 5%, you want your risk to be within that 5%.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not giving you any crap for not taking it. I personally, depending on what price you actually seen that, extension from the 10-day, it's better to be more cautious. So I still commemorate you for doing what you did, but we can still learn from it and understand that with the ADR being as high as it was, it still had plenty of room to move away from that without stopping you out. So,
Gotcha.
Wait, Dad, did you say you were looking at it at the 1545 area?
It was about halfway up that first candle.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was looking to take it,
Yeah.
at 1545 area.
yep.
Just because
That's actually where B. Stewie took it, was 1545. Or
that's
1543
exactly where,
he took it. So
yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to get in.
yeah, because
I
that's
just,
the only spot that actually showed the volume. Like if you
Yep.
look at even on the 1 minute, like if you're really, really trying to cherry pick,
Yep,
what's
here.
going on, you really can't see the a good volume push until you get that candle there where it meets that 1545. So if we're really honing in on this process, yes, Dan Bob, 1545 was the area that you'd want to take it. So that it's a really good eye, and I'm glad that you got to watch it this morning.
Yeah, perfect. And just bringing this back, 1545, and because it was also around the price area of previous day high, so that was the other main one, the break of the previous
One
day.
more quick question and ties in with this morning.
Yep.
So I got probably 15 alerts back
Mhm.
to back to back to back to back. Any suggestions on how to mentally handle that?
If you want me to take this one, because I get that many all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you mind if I take this one, Covey?
Go ahead, brother.
All right. So check it out. That's what this mental preparation is all about. We know right now that health is a hot sector. So if you look through your 15 stock alerts, first of all, if you're getting too many, then stop making so many alerts, meaning only make the alerts on 4 and 5-star setups. B, be mentally prepared. So when a stock goes off, you should already have your homework done on it. Like I did with Novax, I knew it was hot, I knew it was a high ADR, and I knew it was a trend that was so tight that I absolutely loved it on that 10-day. All right. So when I have 15 alerts that go off, I'm ignoring 90% of them and I'm only looking at 2 or 3. If those 2 or 3 look good and they're ready to take, I only focus on 1 of those 3. So I'm doing all this within the time. Now, what I will do is if it's not ready, I will set a new alert above that and then go looking somewhere else. So this takes some time because it's kind of very reactive, especially because a lot of our trading is between 9:30 and 11. So you're kind of, if it's a busy day like it was today, you're kind of just cycling through, resetting alerts, looking at new plays until you find the perfect play. And then you're just focusing all your attention on one good trade. And that's the best way I can explain that.
Yep.
So first, minimize how many alerts that you have. Not everything needs an alert, and then B, have mental preparation, knowing which one's going to be the best in the right sectors and which ones are your favorite. And then C, resetting alerts and then only focusing on 1 or 2 key stocks after the alerts start going off.
Yeah, just going back on
I would
that
like
too,
to add
'cause
that I like to put my alerts in whole numbers. I think 90% of my alerts are usually whole numbers because the breakout is usually hugging that area for some reason. Coincidence, maybe.
No, I have to agree with you on that 100%. Yeah.
Well, it's a psychological barrier, right?
Yep.
yeah, you look at EU, for example. That's a great example of the $5 area
$5, beautiful.
being a primary resistance, and a very, very psychological area for the stock.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just a lot of different things combined it, setting your alerts. But yeah, anyways, we'll move on. Dan, did that kind of answer?
You answered it great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem, brother. So we have AMX. Now this is Dave. I remember mentioning this a couple weeks, but AMRX, you have this run up. Now you have this base being formed here, but then you have another push up, and then you have another base being formed here. So Dave mentioned this. I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago, and I really started looking into the base on top of a base. So you have this base, nothing really set up here for me to be tradable, but then you have a base that's setting up here that's getting really, really tight, and it's on top of another base. So, and we've seen this countless times where it's been very, very powerful. It's a very powerful move if you have a base on top of another base. So I'm just watching this. AMRX looking really good. It's a slower mover, around 3%. I mean, 3 ADR. And we'll just see how it performs. Once again, if it pushes out of this 680 area, 690 area on volume, it'll be a good trade. Now, what you guys will notice as well, as I go further down the list, the stocks aren't going to be looking as pretty because I started with the top. The top stocks I'm watching are the ones at the top, and that just goes back to the alerts. The top stocks I'm going to be watching are at the top of the list. As they go down, it's going to be less and less tradable within the week or within the day. So PWP, that's an example. You have this move up base. You got this big shakeout on earnings, like huge shakeout on earnings, but bought right back up. And now you're right at these all-time highs, forming nice area resistance. And now we're just waiting to see if this thing can start to tighten up. It needs 3 or 4 days at least of tightness here before we see it make a move. I threw CEO on here, CECO, because the thing I really liked about it, and this is kind of what I've been watching based on the market, is you have this breakout here, and it comes back within this range and retests this range. Now, I'm waiting for it to re-break out of this range on volume. And as you see, with this pullback, it has lower volume, and this thing's still holding up relatively compared to the market volatility. So I'm just watching for CECO. Not your traditional base breakout. Your traditional base breakout was this day, but I'm just waiting to see because it came and retested this range. So we'll see what happens there. AMST, now this is a very fast mover, but once again, you have this gap up on huge volume, and then you have this beautiful base being formed here as it's starting to get tighter. Form this nice area resistance right around this 375 area, and now we're just waiting to see. We're waiting to see the volume come in, seeing if it's going to break out. And like it already showed a very powerful move here, and now it's consolidated, and now hopefully we see another move up.
And that's in the technology service package software as well. So
yeah,
that's been showing a lot of fruitfulness.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'd be careful with this one because it is a 780R, and the 200-day is still sloping down. So it's definitely something to just. It's a more skeptical play. I wouldn't make it your main watch. NRIX, just watching this one, area resistance around this high, formed a cup, formed a handle, bounced off this handle at this area resistance, and now we're just waiting to see. Hopefully it can tighten up, forming higher lows here, something like that. Just run through the last ones. NCMI, you have this, you can see, beautiful cup here, bounced right off this area at all-time highs, and now forming a little consolidation here. We have lower volume coming in, which is really nice to see. So we'll see if this thing can break out of volume. If it can, then maybe we could get a good trade out of it. We have RNA. Now, RNA,
We are still watching RNA. Holy cow, this thing's been haunting me since January, dude.
yeah. Yeah, it's so RNA, it's this I don't know, Dave, did you take this one with me?
You know, this is the one that you took that I did not take, and you ended up
Yeah.
making a bit of money on. So
Yeah, not a killing, but yeah, just a bit
I
of
took
money.
this breakout too. I think all of us took
Yeah,
it, right?
you did take this too, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So RNA is just same thing. You have this stage 1, stage 2. You got this base being formed here, higher lows, tightening up, finds this area resistance at all time at this high area of 20, 27, 30, bounces off of it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then boom, look at the breakout on volume, pushes up through, and then this one did come back in, and so I did make money on this because I took profits at
2R.
2R. So basically what 2R is, it's 2 times of what I'm risking. So if I'm risking, let's say $100, then if I sell all my stock at 2R, I'd make $200, just simple terms. Now I sold half my position at 2R, so I locked in $100, but then the other half, it came down to my break even, so I got stopped out. So I only made $50. So sorry, I only made $100, if you
There
get
you
what
go.
I'm saying. Yeah. So RNA, the reason I'm
Quick
watching
question on that.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Does that, am I understanding you correctly? So you never got a chance to move your stop up?
No, I did. So what I did is I took the trade, right? Stop at low a day, and then as soon as I took 2R, like my 2R, so my, let's say $100, so I took sold half, so I took $100 off the table. I moved my stop right up to break even. So then when this thing reversed and it came down, I
Gotcha.
got stopped out, made a quick $100, let's say. Keep it simple. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Absolutely. KSS.
Okay,
Keep it simple,
perfect,
stupid.
Anyways, so we have so RNA, just that's kind of how I played it. Now we have um a pullback, or just pulling back into its range again. So you see it moved up. Now it came back in, bounced right off the 50-day, and now it's starting to tighten up on low volume. And I'm watching to see if it can break out of this area on volume again. It's just a retest and see if it can go again. Because this thing, it is a biotech, but it's been moving really, really good lately. So just want to see some continuation here. And the last one is APP. Me and Dave actually played APP well, we didn't play it back here, but we have it marked out back here as an EP. EP's completely different thing. We should actually do a meeting on that or something like that, explaining EPs.
We will. I think tomorrow we're going to start going over some EPs, but I want to get a list of EPs before we go over them.
Yeah, exactly. So APP, this is more of a trend break. So you have this push up on earnings, and then you have this kind of area resistance. It's can't get across on the trend, and then it's finding some support on this 21-day. So I'm just waiting to see what this thing can do, and I do really like these big wicks where it just soaks back up, holding this 21-day. I find that to be very bullish. Now, I'm not a trend wizard, like I said. I just threw this on here just because I like the way it looks, and APP is a very, very strong name compared to the overall market with an RS rating of 98.
If that is
So yeah,
if that's your watch list, can we, since we have a few more minutes, it's 9:41, we got about 20 more minutes. Holy Diver
Yep.
threw up a few in the chat, and I'm going through them right now. One of them that I had on mine was USAU. If you'll bring that up on your chart, that's another beautiful trend.
Oh yeah.
Holy Diver
Very
also
marked.
said it's a very dilutive stock, meaning that they have added a lot of shares into this. But do keep in mind, guys, that this is a very nice trend look to it. It also has a very,
I
very
knew like
fast ADR of 9%. So Holy Diver, great call out. Danny was actually watching this. This was on his watch list a few days ago. I put this on my watch list as well. This is a 9.1% ADR, guys. This is a make or break your account or rip your face off account. This
oh
thing's
that's nothing, dude. I have a stock with like 20% ADR.
oh, I know, but I sometimes I don't want to. I don't like to put those out there because people can really get hurt. You know what I mean? So
You
this
know,
USAU is
you can
looking really
check
good. We can take a look
you can check the weekly on sorry
It's
Weekly?
okay.
on
Yeah.
the weekly chart on it, and then you zoom all the way out. You can kind of see the dilution.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
see
on, at
that.
least on my chart, like, can you zoom in like all the way out?
Like all the way out.
All the way out.
Oh yeah.
You
They've
see
been
how
diluting the
like
hell out of it.
the volume goes up, but the stock goes lower and lower.
Yeah.
It's an easier way to see it without looking at the filings.
Yeah. It's not the prettiest thing, is it?
Yeah.
You can bring up MESA. It looks like the trend break was a beautiful trend break here, just so you guys can hone your eyes into this. This is what I'm looking for right here. A beautiful trend break bouncing off that 10-day moving average. You can see right where the breakout area is on volume. That was very, very nice. That's what I like to see. So MESA looks like I missed my chance on that, but very nice bring up there. You're looking at... yeah. Oh, I didn't even read what you wrote, Diver. He said MESA break and hold above breakout, and Dave will nut for that trend break. Dude, yeah. Dude, I seen that trend. I said, we got to talk about that, even though I missed the trend break. That's hilarious. CCSI hugging 1-year VWAP resistance. We don't need to go over the anchored VWAP, but CCSI. I don't really care for this, but it does have a nice trend that's down. These are some really shit stocks that you're bringing to the table right now.
I love them, the high ADR.
I hate it. I hate you looking at
the
all these.
CCSI, it has a $20 whole number. And look at that soak, at that candle at 5:31.
5:31.
May 30, yeah, May 31st.
May 31st.
Yeah.
Right here?
Look at that soak with the volume of the support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
can't play this.
It's
I just
so
can't.
beat down, dude. It's so beat down, man. It's below a 200-day moving average. It's yucky.
Those
it's yucky.
are not investments.
I know.
For me, it's literally
nothing that we play are investments, man.
20 days.
The only investments I play are like ETFs, VTI, VOO, things like that. I don't ever take one stock and make an investment out of it. It's only swing trades. But I totally I see what you're saying. You're looking for the pop and then you're getting out of it. Absolutely beautiful. So look at CNTX. Holy Diver also brought that up. That looks really nice. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's getting really tight. Actually, I don't.
That's CENX.
CNTX. That's beautiful. I'm gonna set
that's
my alert on that.
CENX.
Yeah, that's the aluminum, and I think it's
CNTX.
CNTX.
No, CE. Okay, my bad. I thought it was CENX, right?
On my list?
CNTX. Nope. Never mind. My bad.
CD. Wait. Okay. Whatever.
No, you got it right. You got it right. I'm sorry, buddy. Too many Indians. Sorry, my bad.
All right. Perfect. Well, I'm just gonna before I wrap my little show up. Does anybody have any questions for me? Now would be the time to ask.
Ask him. Don't be shy, Jimmy. Jimmy, I know you got a question, Jimmy. What about you, Awesome?
Yeah, I have one question.
There you go, Zamora. You got the mic. What's up?
No, that's awesome. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, hi, Awesome. You sound just like Zamora. Go ahead. You got the mic.
Yeah. So I saw that NVAX, that stock. So it is already up. So is Is it still good buy because it is only first one day, or
No.
we have to wait for pullback?
So yeah, the short answer is yeah, this stock already took off, and yes, you nailed it, bang on. Is yeah, we gotta wait for pullback, and the way we kind of determine if when the stock is pulling back, it'll come back and either find support on one of these moving averages, like it did here. So on the 10-day, found support here, touched it multiple times, and then continued higher. So yes, we gotta wait for it to pull back. I would not buy it up here, just because it is extended and it already
So
made a
which moving
decent move.
which
So
moving averages are here?
okay, so the green line,
Yeah.
that's the 10-day moving average. This line is the 21.
Mm-hmm.
This line is the 50-day.
Okay.
And then this line, the purple one down here that's hard to see, is the 200-day.
Okay.
So in
Thank
my
you.
opinion, that's really all you need,
Yep.
to be honest, to
Yep.
trade. The more indicators you tend to add, the more likely you are to confuse yourself. And trading really boils, what I've learned from trading is it really boils down to price and volume. It's really all you really need is just price. This is the price and this is the volume. That's all you need. The indicators are just there to give you more conviction on something, on support and resistance levels. So
Quick question. On
yes,
that
sir.
50 there, are you using the simple or the expo?
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's the simple though on the 50-day.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah,
you were
just on the
looking for a
10-day.
golden cross.
No, I don't look for a golden cross or anything like that.
Well,
Now,
no, I mean the 50 going over the 200 is a traditional golden cross. That's why I'm asking. But
Oh,
but
okay.
it wouldn't be if it was exponential.
No, it's not. It's not. It's simple. All of my trading moving averages are simple, other than the 10-day. It's like Expo. So, yep. Any more questions?
I have a question. Anyone in the gang is trading small caps? Like high area stocks? If so, feel free to hit me up to discuss about it.
Absolutely.
No one?
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody. There's always somebody
That's a
that's
good sign
playing
for you,
those.
Dave. No
Hey,
deacons.
hey,
What
Holy
is the
Diver,
question?
go ahead.
What is the question?
Oh, if people are playing small stocks, if there's anybody in the group playing small caps. Yeah, I don't think
I
anybody
would
really
like to know
wants to
about the
admit.
SMCI.
To be
Nobody.
honest, yeah, I can answer that. So small caps, from my experience, I have found zero success in small caps. And if you read any of well, I based my strategy off Mark Minervini, Chris Quilamagi, and Stan Weinstein, Oliver Kell. You can look them up, and they're all super successful traders. And we're not reinventing the wheel. I'm just basing my strategy off of what they're trading, and for what I'm trying to teach is I don't mess around with small caps or beating down stocks because there's just no growth to them. Like, yes, they'll pop, but then they'll come back down. It's just, or you'll catch one that.
Maggie started with small caps, both short and long.
No, there's
Yeah.
definitely money to be made, Holy Diver, but what we're trying to learn and teach in the strategy, in more of a strategy, it's better to be long in a stock that has more potential to move up. Instead of
And that's what
buying and selling and trying to be very volatile in your stock. And we're not saying you can't make money in the stock. We're saying the way we trade and how we're trying to teach the trading is to look at more growth stocks, momentum leaders, rather than penny stocks that are diluted. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do like to play sometimes these stocks, especially if they're setting up beautiful trends. Just like the last gold stock that we looked up, USAU. It's hard for me not to take something like that, but I usually play it intraday. I'm usually keeping a very hard stop on it. When it pops, as you brought to our attention, it pops and then it drops down very, very quick, just like the last one.
Yeah.
So it's hard to try and teach newer traders a strategy that's profitable when they have to be right at their computers or on their phones when they're trying to work and things like that. So I don't think it's the best strategy to learn very at the beginning. Now, I know you've been trading for about 5 or 6 years now, Holy Diver, and I know that you and we've been doing a lot of these different types of strategies on bigger stocks, and you slowly work. Well, we started really on penny stocks, but we've worked our way around, and now you have came back to those penny stocks. So I totally understand. And it's good to have you in this chat room too, because we're going to get a lot more people that are talking about penny stocks as well. So we do appreciate you being here. But well,
Yes,
before we
caps are
go,
definitely not beginner friendly. And by the way, I used to do a lot of backtesting, like coding and stuff. And every time I did the filter, the larger the market caps, the more edge you have in long. Every strategy I ever tested has more edge the higher the market cap is.
yeah, the
Oh,
higher the market cap, I found that too when I
Yeah,
was
it's very
playing my
interesting
trend
thing.
break strategy as well, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, just I want to straighten something out really quick. Night Owl has 2 stocks, and then we're going to have to wrap it up, guys. So if you could look at PGEN and just give us your thoughts on that. I think you need to be brutally honest about this, PGEN. Now, Night Owl, I think we trade a little differently than you do, but go out there on the daily and see if there's a larger trend in that before you tear it up.
Like in the hourly?
You could look at the
5-minute?
hourly, sure, but I meant like look at the weekly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and see if there's a
Oh.
bigger. Yeah, so no, there's not. Okay, you can go ahead. What do you
Okay,
think about this?
so first things first. Now, first thing I see actually is the 200-day is sloping up, but this thing I would still consider in its stage 1. It hasn't shown anything yet. Like it hasn't shown like if this thing's gonna move higher or if this is just a pop and it's gonna come back down. Now, yes, it did get quite a bit of volume, but it's nothing like crazy amount of volume. Like if you look at NVAX, for example, where it just gets a huge amount of volume, like a pretty beat down stock, but it gets a huge amount of volume and then pushes higher. Now with PGen, you have some volume here, you have a pop, but there's nowhere where this thing is going. And the other reason is I don't want to trade this stock is the RS rating is 66. The market's running. Like the market, we're in a bull market. Why are we playing a stock that is beat down and not running with the market? That's because people are not interested in buying the stock. Like that just goes back to the short like the penny stocks and the small caps. Yes, you can make money from this with this pop, but that's just not what we're trying to teach here because it doesn't, in my mind, it just doesn't make sense. You're buying a stock that's beat down when the market's running.
Yep.
Like,
If you're trying to
it just
long a stock, it's better to be in a stock that's relatively strong compared to the market because if the market tends to pull back, those relatively strong stocks are going to hold up in the market. But if you're looking at PGEN for a short sale trade, now you're looking at the right stock. It got a pop, and you can see right when it hit that downward trend line from the
yeah,
past 2 pops, it sold off hard. Can
yeah.
you take a look at AUTL really quick for Night Owl as well, please?
AUTL.
And just be brutally honest as well.
Okay, so AUTL, well, the thing I actually really like about this is I don't like it now, but when it ran up here, this was looking really, really nice and it's forming this base. This is probably would have been somewhere on my screens or something like that because it was above a 200-day. 200-day was trending up. And then up here, it had a really nice move up. And then it just sank. Ship sank. And now, like, I need to wait for it to come above its 200-day moving average and get at least a 90 RS rating plus. And it just goes back like why market ran all throughout this area and this thing just sold off. So there's something fundamentally and technically wrong with the stock that people are selling it while the market is running.
And
So
Covey,
trend
if
is
you
your
would, the last one, and then we're going to call it a night, and I'll do the little outro.
okay.
But Henry brought up SVV. I'm looking at it on my screen here. If you don't mind, I'll give you the run through really quick. So Henry,
Yeah.
our main outlook on this, since you're new to this channel, is we're looking for momentum leaders. And right now this is clearly on a downtrend. If you look at the daily as we zoom out, we are on a downtrend. The relative strength compared to the market is 12. So as the market's heading higher, this is actually heading lower. So that's not a very good look. Regardless of its market cap, and whether you like the stock or not, the market doesn't give a shit what you like or what you don't like. And I mean that in the most loving and caring way. It really doesn't. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me. So this stock is just downtrending. If you're going to look at something like this, I highly recommend looking at more of a leader in the sector. So right now this is retail trade. I much rather you looking at CPNG, AMZN, PDD. Those are all retail traders, and those are all going to be looking more like leaders in the market. As you can see, this one still has a lower RS rating at 88%, but it at least is pushing up higher. It's holding moving averages. So these are the stocks I'd much rather you look at if you're looking to long stocks. Okay, Henry? So just keep that in mind. And we're only here to teach you guys relative strength and movers in the market. We don't, I might sound like an asshole from time to time, but hey, we're just trying to teach you, okay? So I appreciate you being here, but we need to focus on leaders in this stock. So I do not like that stock. And PLTK, go ahead, Adam. Covey.
So PLTK, very first thing is 200-day sloping down. That's a dead giveaway. You should just remove the stock from your list. Yes, it had this move up, but it needs to show more. With this 200-day needs to come around. And yes, it's starting to curl around, but we need more conviction and we need more buying power to show that this thing's actually going to make a run forward and start its stage 2 pattern. Now, right now, this thing I'd still consider it in stage 1 just because that 200-day is not sloping up yet. But and then the other key thing to look at is the RS rating of only 70. So, like I said, only 90 plus. And like I said, guys, ping me in general chat or message me, and I can like sit on with you one-on-one, and we could set up like TradingView, or we could set up these indicators so you can get this RS rating and really start going and looking through the top stocks, or you can go to the weekly stock screener. So,
all right, guys. Adam, I'm going to take over from here. Thank you so much, Adam. I really, really appreciate you doing this for us. This was an awesome breakout watch list. We also threw some trend breaks in there. We talked a little bit about risk management. We talked about a little bit how to take these with volume. And we also looked at things that we don't want to watch as well, which is very important. So that way you can have a correlation of our leaders and our laggers and things that just won't work at all. So I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, we'll be in the Discord. If you guys need any help or any questions or anything like that on setting up your charts or why we use certain things, the first thing I would recommend is going to our resource section in the Discord and making sure that you watch the base breakout and the trend breakout strategy. After that, I think that'll take care of a lot of your questions. But if you have any more, you're more than welcome to ask us, guys. We have a whole group here full of resources, and I appreciate everybody being here. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. We'll see you in the trading space tomorrow.
What are we doing tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I think we're going to work on EPs, but if not, we'll do what we usually do, and that's the S&P 500. We'll go over the market, we'll go over a watch list, and we'll go over the trades that we're currently in and what happened in the market that day.
Very good.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Thank you, Jimmy.